it's my Booktube birthday, so here I am to celebrate by filling out the Booktube birthday tag. Question number 1, how many years on Booktube are you celebrating? And I will have been on Booktube posting consistently for the past 4 years now. Number 2, what has kept you motivated in continuing to publish videos? I love reading, and I have so many opinions and observations and thoughts that I just want to share. I really want to be starting some of those conversations and continuing them, having more in-depth deep dive discussions on the platform. Since there's not a lot of people in my real world that I can do that with, YouTube, social media is one of the few options I have to really reach out to people who are exploring the same kind of books and stories as I am. Beyond that, I'm just unreasonably proud of the videos that I've made. I guess I keep hoping that I'll be improving quality of video production, editing, all of that kind of stuff, and make it a more entertaining, fun experience for y'all, as well as me learning more skills and adding to my knowledge base. What are 3 of your favorite videos you've made this past year and why? So as always, I'm going to be cheating a little bit this year, talking about forms of videos I've made instead of the actual videos themselves. So I managed to make 2 workshopped it videos, the first one being on Jaime and Eve's Gilded Wings, which follows a tradition of me workshopping Jaime and Eve's new stuff, and the second one being a workshopped it on the Rebel Moon Part 1 and Part 2 PG-13 version. I really love these workshopped it videos specifically because it gives me a chance to talk about what's working in something, what's sort of meh, and what's not working. And then I give you a pitch that leaves you pretty much at the same start and the same end, but improves that middle journey, which I'm really a character development and journey kind of girl. So I love pitching these new ideas, using my creativity and also my analytical skills to improve something that's already existing, or to give more different ideas or concepts about ways you could execute in a story if you yourself are looking to build one. Category number 2 is that I did 2 Nevermore Notes videos, both on different short Edgar Allan Poe stories this year. And I love these because it lets me create a whole slideshow where I explain the story, I break down thematic strengths and weaknesses, I present different theories, I ask different reader questions as we're going through the story. So if you're reading along with this presentation, you can stop, answer those questions for yourself, and get more insight into what you're thinking and feeling too. I think they're packed full of so much educational value, so much pretty presentation stuff, and then on top of that I pick a background out and try to make that related to what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of creativity and information and transformation all packed together in there. And then lastly, I got to do a deep dive examination of Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan's latest The Boy in the Iron Box series. Fun to break down all of the stopping points for each of those 6 little novellas to see if they made sense to be separate books or if they should be one big book. I love Guillermo del Toro's work. I always like doing more deep dives and examinations there. I think he just does such great monster fiction. He has so many great thematic gothic elements. All of that's just such a good time, and I was glad to sort of dip my toe back into his world for a moment. Number 4, what have you struggled with on Booktube this past year and how did you overcome it? And if I'm going to be incredibly honest with you guys, I don't think I had a ton of struggles this past year on Booktube. I feel like this was really my best year so far. I created a lot more videos that have pretty high view counts for me and my channel. I seem to get a lot more engagement and comments and feedback from you guys. I feel like I had a pretty good subscriber year that was at least on par with the year previous, if not building just a little bit. By all performance metrics that I can think of, I think things went really well. And if it comes to me creating and all that kind of stuff, I feel like I have a good balance of stuff that was harder to make and really ambitious with stuff that was a little bit easier and more lighthearted. I think I need to be a little bit more critical about the kind of things I decide to do a deep dive on so that they're definitely more value and a little bit oof. I still haven't mastered actually posting once a week. While I made about 100 long form videos, they didn't come out once a week every week. And this year my resolution is to do 2 long form videos and 1 short every week. So I'm just adding workload when I still haven't mastered the basics. Number 5, choose a moment in Booktube that you would like to relive over the past year. I had a really good time during the Paranormal Love in the Night romance readathon that happened this past October. I I probably wouldn't have even participated if my October plans had actually gone to plan, but given that those original things fell through for me, that left me at loose ends, and I thought I'm gonna really enjoy my moment and my time reading in October, which brought me to actually participating in a readathon for once. And it was just really fun to have that sense of community, be able to do the reading sprints with them, be able to see like their suggestions on what to read for the readathon ahead of time, maybe pick some of them up, and then get their input on what they read after the readathon, as well as like me posting a video about my own reading journey. Even though I wasn't officially a member or a sponsor of that readathon, it felt like I was part of a community and something like bigger and larger in a way that I usually don't get to experience. Number 6 is to shout out a supporter of your channel. I mean, first and foremost is going to be my husband. He is so supportive and upbeat and patient with everything I do. But certainly my family and friends are also really supportive of any creative ambitions or things that I make, and that's like really special to have people that are sort of cheering you on and supporting you even if they don't always 100% understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. Number 7, what's the best book you read in the past year? I'm grateful for the chance to answer this because I just finished my December wrap-ups with the best 5 and the worst 5 books or whatever, but there was something I read this past December that blew me away called You Let Me In by Camilla Bruce, and if I had read it earlier in this year, it would definitely be my #1 read of 2024. But given that I think I read it like on the 29th or the 30th, it barely even made it into my December reading wrap-up, and I just feel like so much more attention and enthusiasm should go to this book. This is a modern gothic story that's told in an epistolary style where the main character, Cassandra, has gone missing, and we start with like a newspaper article outlining her disappearance, her like tragic life that includes her being accused of the murder of her husband, and then subsequently there being a murder-suicide with her father and brother, that there was some suspicion around her, and she's like a semi-famous public figure as a big-name romance author, and there's some suspicion that she used all of these tragedies in her life and like the media attention she was getting there as a jumping off point to this fame. And there's also like a lot of wild speculation about whether she's dead or missing and what could have happened to her. But anyways, a year rolls by and her niece and nephew want to get her inheritance, so they have to go to her house and read this manuscript that she left them to find a secret password in it to get the money. And that's when we're reading the manuscript supposedly along with the niece and nephew and learning her history, her story, how she views things that have happened to her in her life, and getting like this deeper dive. Cassandra's writing style, or how Camilla Bruce writes Cassandra's writing style, is really unique and melodic and very reminiscent of S.T. Gibson's The Dowry of Blood, so of course I loved that. Also, what's going on with her, no matter what narrative you believe, is incredibly dark and sordid, but there are these moments of like triumph and happiness that sort of shine even brighter for all those other like dark, scary things going on. I really loved it. It was a very unique read and I can't recommend it enough. Bringing us to number 8, where do you see your channel in a year's time and what do you hope to have achieved? So I know what I'd like to see on stuff that I can't control, like subscriber counts, view counts, interaction. The only thing I can do is keep trying to make the best video I can make on topics that I think are interesting with like decent thumbnails and titles, which I plan to keep trying to research and learn and evolve. But I hate setting goals by it because there's not a good way for me to know if I'm successful or not. I would like the number of interesting, thoughtful stuff I produce to increase and some of like the filler videos to decrease. But to do that, I have to actually read books that spark those kind of discussions. I have to write those scripts. I have to film and edit them. Certainly all of that's time consuming. I'm hoping that I improve my process and speed up so that's a faster thing. I'm hoping I learn to be a better judge of what kind of books and topics would drive that for me. I feel confident that I have a strong basis on it, so I'm hoping for the best. And then number 9, tag someone else whose anniversary is coming up. This is the fun thing about being a January anniversary. Almost everyone else also has an anniversary coming up, so if you're a booktuber or related to the bookish space and you want to do this tag, you're it, and I can't wait to see your answers. You know, I want to thank everybody for coming with me on this journey. You guys have been great community members for me, watching and commenting and even in some cases recommending this to other people who would be interested. But really and truly, thank you for being here with me. As always, keep reading.